how I mean.
Some revenge.
Can I tell you why I have nothing in
Let's start it
I'm like,
Think not I love him, though I ask for him. 'Tis but a peevish boy, yet he talks well. But what care I for words? Yet words do well when he that speaks them pleases those that hear. He is a pretty youth. Not very pretty, but sure, he's proud. And yet his pride becomes him. He'll make a proper man. And faster than his tongue did make offence, his eye did heal it up. He's not very tall. Yet for his years he's tall. His leg is but so-so. And yet 'tis well. There's a pretty redness in his lip. A little riper and more lusty red than that mixed in his cheek. Just the difference betwixt the constant red and mingled damask. There be some women, Silvius, had they marked him in parcels as I did, would have gone near to fall in love with him. But for my part, I love him not hate him not. And yet, have more cause to hate him than to love him. For what had he to do to chide at me? He'd said mine eyes were black and my hair black, and now I am remembered scorned at me. I marvel why I answered not again. But that's all one. Admittance is no quittance. I'll write him a very taunting letter, and thou shalt bear it, wilt thou, Silvius?
Hard to seem one, but I was one, my lord. With every first glance that ever, pardon me, if I confess much, you shall play the tyrant. I love you now, but not till now so much. But I might master it. In faith, I lie. My thoughts were like unbridled children, too headstrong for their mothers. See? We fooled. Why have I blabbed? Who should be true to us when we are so unsecret to ourselves? And though I loved you well, I wooed you not. And in good faith, I wish myself a man, or that we women had the men's privilege of speaking first. Sweet bid me hold my tongue, for in this rapture I shall surely speak the thing I repent. See your silence, cunning in your dumbness, My weakness holds my very strength of counsel. Stop my mouth.
Right. Oh, well. I see you all are bent to sit against me for your merriment. If you were civil and you curtsy, you would not do me thus much injury. Can you not hate me as I know you do, but must join in souls to mock me too? If you were men, as men you are in show, you would not use a gentle lady so, to vow and swear and superpraise my parts, when I am sure you hate me with your hearts. You both are rivals in love, Hermia, and now both rivals to mock Helena. A trim exploit, a manly enterprise to conjure up tears in a poor maid's eyes with your derision. None of noble sort would so offend a woman, or extort a poor soul's patience, all to make you sport.
Did my father strike my gentleman for chiding of his fool? By day and night he wrongs me. Every hour he flashes into one gross crime or other that sets us all at odds. I'll not endure it. His nights grow riotous, and himself upbraids us on every trifle. When he returns from hunting, I will not speak with him. Say I am sick. If you come slack of former services, you shall do well. The fault of it, I'll answer. Put on what weary negligence you please, you and your fellow servants. I'll have it come to question. If he distaste it, let him to our sister, whose mind and mine I know in that are one not to be overruled. Idle old man, that still would manage those authorities that he hath given away. Now by my life, old fools are babes again, and must be used with checks as flatteries when they are seen abused. Remember what I have said. And let his nights grow colder looks among you. What grows of it? No matter. Advise your fellows so that I would breed from hence occasions, and I shall that I may speak. I'll write straight to my sister to hold my very course.
Kill Claudio. You kill me to deny it. Farewell, I am gone though I am here. There's no love in you. Nay, I pray you let me go.
In faith, I will go. You dare easier be friends with me than fight with my enemy? Is Claudio not approved in the height a villain that hath slandered, scorned, and dishonoured my kinswoman? Oh, God, that I were a man. What? Bear her in hand until they come to take hands. And then, with public accusation, uncovered slander, and mitigated rancour, oh, God, that I were a man! I would eat his heart in the marketplace. Talk to a man out at a window. Proper saying. Sweet hero. She is wronged. She is slandered. She is undone. Princes and counties. Surely a princely testimony, a goodly count, Count Confect, a sweet gallant, surely. Oh, God, that I were a man for his sake. Oh, that I had any friend who would be a man for my sake. But manhood is melted into courtesies, valour into compliment, and men are only turned into tongue, and trim ones too. He is now as valiant as Hercules that only tells a lie and swears it. I cannot be a man for wishing. Therefore I will die a woman with grieving.
No meat. I'll not drink, sir. If idle talk will once be necessary, I'll not sleep neither. This mortal house I'll ruin. Do Caesar what he can. No, sir. I will not wait pinioned at your master's court, nor once be chastised by the sober eye of dull Octavia. Shall they hoist me up and show me to the shouting varletry of censuring Rome? Rather a ditch in Egypt be gentle grave unto me. Rather on Nilus mud lay me stark naked and let the water flies blow me into a boring. Rather my country's high pyramids be my gibbet and hang me up in chains.
Fear no more the heat of the sun, or the furious winter rages. Though thy worldly task has done, home art gone, and ta'en thy wages. Golden lads and girls all must, as chimney sweepers, come to dust. Fear no more the frown of the great, thou art past the stroke, care no more to clothe and eat. To thee the reed is as the oak. The sceptre, learning, physic, must all follow this and come to dust. Fear no more the lightning flash, nor the all-dreaded thunderstone. Fear not slander, censure, rash. Thou hast finished joy and woe. All lovers young, all lovers must consign to thee and come to dust. No exorciser harm thee, nor no witchcraft charm thee. First unlaid forbear thee, nothing ill come near thee. Quiet consummation have, and renowned be thy grave.
When I have seen by time's fell hand defaced the rich proud cost of outworn buried age, when sometime lofty towers I see down raised, and brass eternal slave to mortal rage, when I have seen the hungry ocean gain advantage on the kingdom of the shore, and the firm soil win of the watery main, increasing store with loss and loss with store, when I have seen such interchange of state, or state itself confounded to decay, ruin hath taught me thus to ruminate, that time will come and take my love away. This thought is as a death, which cannot choose but weep to have that which it fears to lose. Since brass, nor stone, nor earth, nor boundless sea, but sad mortality o'ersways their power, how with this rage shall beauty hold a plea, whose action is no stronger than a flower? Or how shall summer's honey breath hold out against the wrackful siege of battering days, when rocks impregnable are not so stout, nor gates of steel so strong, but time decays? O fearful meditation! Where, alack, shall time's best jewel from time's chest lie hid? Or what strong hand can hold his swift foot back? Or who his spoiler beauty can forbid? O none, unless this miracle have might, that in black ink my love may still shine bright.
Now, out of doubt, Antipholus is mad. else would he never so demean himself? A ring he hath of mine worth 40 ducats, and for the same he promised me a chain. Both one and the other he denies me now. The reason I gather he is mad, besides this present instance of his rage, is a mad tale he told today at dinner of his own doors being shut against his entrance. Belike his wife, acquainted with his fits, shut the doors against his way. My way now is to hie home to his house and tell his wife that, being lunatic, he rushed into my house and took perforce my ring away. This course I fit his choose, for 40 ducats is too much to lose.
When I consider everything that grows holds imperfection but a little moment, that this huge stage presenteth naught but shows whereon the stars in secret influence comment. When I perceive that men, as plants, increase, cheered and checked even by the self-same sky, vaunt in their youthful sap, at height decrease, and wear their brave state out of memory, then the conceit of this inconstant stay sets you, most rich in youth, before my sight, where wasteful time debateth with decay to change your day of youth to solid night, and all in war with time for love of you, as he takes from you iron graft you knew.
Till I have no wife, I have nothing in France. Nothing in France till he has no wife. Thou shalt have none, Rousillon, none in France, then hast thou all again. Poor Lord, is't I that chase thee from thy country, and expose those tender limbs of thine to the event of the non-sparing war? And is it I that drive thee from the sportive court, where thou wast shot at with fair eyes, to be the mark of smoky muskets? O you leaden messengers, that ride upon the violent speed of fire, fly with false aim, move the still-piecing air that sings with piercing, do not touch my lord. Whoever shoots at him, I set him there. Whoever charges on his forward breast, I am the caitiff that do hold him to it. And though I kill him not, I am the cause his death was so affected. Better 'twere I met the raven lion who roared with sharp constraints of hunger. Better 'twere that all the miseries that nature owes were mine at once. No. Come thou home, Rousillon, whence honour but of danger wins a scar, as oft it loses all. I will be gone. My being here it is that holds thee hence. Shall I stay here to do it? No. No. Although the air of paradise did fan the house, and angels officed all, I will be gone. That pitiful rumour may report my flight to consolate thine ear. Come, night. End day. For with the dark, poor thief, I'll steal away.
has done this? Is it a man? A prithee who? Nay, who is it? A prithee now, with most petitionary vehemence, tell me who it is. Good my complexion. Dost thou think, though I am caprisoned like a man, that I have a doublet and hose in my disposition? 1 inch of delay more is like a South Sea discovery. I prithee, tell me who it is quickly and speak apace. Oh, would thou couldst stammer that I might pour this concealed man out of thy mouth, as wine comes out of a narrow-mouthed bottle, either too much at once or none at all. I prithee, take the cork out of thy mouth, that I may drink thy tidings. Is he of God's making? What manner of man? Is his head worth a hat, or his chin worth a beard? Oh, God will send more, if the man be thankful. Oh, let me stay the growth of his beard, if thou delay me not to the knowledge of his chin. Nay, the devil take mocking. Speak, sad brow and true maid. Orlando! Alas the day, what shall I do with my doublet and hose? What did he when I sawest him? What said he? How looked he? Wherein went he? What makes him here? Did he ask for me? Where remains he? How he parted with thee, and when shalt thou see him again? Answer me in one word!
That you were once unkind befriends me now, and for that sorrow which I then did feel, needs must I under my transgression bow, unless my nerves were brass or hammered steel. For if you were by my unkindness shaken as I by yours, you've passed a hell of time, and I, a tyrant, have no leisure taken to weigh how once I suffered in your crime. Oh, that our night of woe might have remembered my deepest sense, how true sorrow hits, and soon to you as you to me then tendered the humble salve which wounded bosoms fits. But that trespass now becomes a fee. Mine ransoms yours, and yours must ransom me.
I boarded the king's ship. Now on the beach, now in the waist, the deck, in every cabin, I flamed amazement. Sometime I divide and burn in many places. On the topmast, the yard, the bowsprit would I flame distinctly. Then meet and join Jove's lightning, the precursors, oh, the dreadful thunderclaps. More momentary, and sight outrunning were not. The fire and cracks of sulphurous roaring the mighty Neptune seemed to besiege and make his bold waves tremble. All souls felt fever of the mad, and played some tricks of desperation. All but mariners plunged in the foaming brine and quit the vessel. Then, all afire with me. The king's son, Ferdinand, was the first man that leapt and cried, "Hell is empty, and all the devils are here."
Be wise, as thou art cruel. Do not press my tongue-tied patience with too much disdain, lest sorrow lend me words, and words express the manner of my pity wanting pain. If I were to teach thee wit, better it were, though not to love, yet love, to tell me so. As testy sick men when their deaths be near, no news but health from their physicians know. For if I should despair, I should grow mad, and in my madness may speak ill of thee. Now this ill-rested world has grown so bad, mad slanderers by mad ears believe it be. That I might not be so, nor thou belied, bear thine eyes straight, though thy proud heart go wide.
What? Have I escaped love letters in the holiday time of my beauty? And am I now a subject for them? Let me see. Ask me no reason why I love you, for though love use reason for his physician, he admits him not for his counsellor. You are not young, no more am I. Go to then, there's sympathy. You are merry, so am I. Ha ha, then there's more sympathy. You love sack, so do I. Would you desire better sympathy? Let it suffice thee, mistress page, at least if the love of a soldier can suffice, that I love thee. I will not say pity me, 'tis not a soldier-like phrase, but I say love me. By me, thine own true knight, by day or night, or any kind of light, with all his might, for thee to fight. John Falstaff? What a Herod of Jewry is this? Oh, wicked world! One that is well nigh worn to pieces with age to show himself a young gallant. What an outweighed behaviour hath this Flemish drunkard picked with the devil's name out of my conversation, that he dare in this manner assay me? Why, he hath not been thrice in my company. What should I say to him? I was then frugal of my mirth, heaven forgive me. Why, I'll exhibit a bill in the Parliament for the putting down of men. How shall I be revenged on him? For revenged I will be, as sure as his guts are made of puddings.
But I do think it is their husband's fault if wives do fall. say that they slack their duties and pour our treasures into foreign laps. Or else break out in peevish jealousies, throwing restraint upon us. Or say they strike us or scant our former, having in despite. Why, we have galls. Though we have some grace, yet have we some revenge. Let husbands know their wives have sense like them. They see and smell, and have palate both for sweet and sour, as husbands have. What is it that they do when they change us for others? Is it sport? I think it is. And doth affection breed it? I think it doth. And is't frailty that thus errs? It is so too. And do not we have affection, desires for sport, and frailty, as men have? Then let them treat us well. Then let them know the ills we do, as their ills instruct us so.
Finds brotherhood in thee no sharper spur? Hath love in thy old blood no living fire? Edward's 7 sons, whereof thyself art one, are as 7 vials of his sacred blood, or 7 fair branches, springing from one root. Some of those 7 are dried by nature's course, some of those branches by the destinies cut. But Thomas, my dear lord, my life, my Gloucester, one vial full of Edward's sacred blood, one flourishing branch of his most royal root, is cracked, and all the precious liquor spilt, is hacked down by envy's hand and murder's bloody axe. Ah, Gaunt, his blood was thine. That bed, that metal, that womb, that self-mould that made thee, made him a man. And though thou dost livest and breathest, yet art thou slain in him. Thou dost consent in some large measure to thy father's death, in that thou seest thy wretched brother die, who was the model of thy father's life. Call it not patience, Gaunt. It is despair. In suffering thus thy brother to be slaughtered, thou showest the naked pathway to thy life, teaching stern murder how to butcher thee. That which in mean men we entitle patience is pale, cold cowardice in noble breasts. What shall I say? To safeguard thine own life, the best way is to venge my Gloucester's death.
What devil art thou that dost torment me thus? This torture should be roared in dismal hell. Hath Romeo slain himself? Say thou but I, and that bare vowel I shall poison more than the death darting eye of cockatrice. I am not I, if there be such an eye, or if those eyes close that make thee answer I. If he be slain, say I, or if not, no. Brief sounds determine of my weal or woe. Oh, break my heart. Poor bankrupt, break at once. To prison eyes, ne'er look on liberty. Vile earth, to earth resign, end motion here. And thou and Romeo press one heavy beer. What storm is this that blows so contrary? Is Romeo dead and is Tybalt slaughtered? My dearer cousin and my dearer lord! Then dreadful trumpet, just sound the general doom, for who's living if those two are gone? Oh God. Did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood? Oh, serpent heart hid with a flowering face, did ever dragon keep so fair a cave? A beautiful tyrant, fiend angelical, dove-feathered raven, wolvish ravening lamb, despises substance of divinest show, just opposite of what thou justly seemst. A damned saint, an honourable villain. Was ever a book containing such vile matter, so fairly bound? Oh, that deceit should dwell in such a gorgeous palace.
Mistress! What mistress? Juliet! Fast, I warrant her she. Why, lamb. Why, lady. Why, you slug a bed. Why, love, I say. Madam, sweetheart. What? Not a word? You take your pennyworths now. Sleep for a week. For the next night I warrant the county Paris will set up his rest, that you should rest but little. God forgive me. Marry and amen, how sound is she asleep? I must needs wake her. Madam! 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 Aye, let the county take you in your bed. He'll fright you up in faith, will it not be? What? Dressed in your clothes and down again? I must needs wake you. Lady! Lady! Lady? Alas! Alas! Help! Help! My lady's dead! Oh, well a day that ever I was born! Some aquavitae! Oh! My lord! My lady! Oh! Look! Look! Oh, heaven day! She's dead! Deceased! She's dead! Alack the day!
Who is Sylvia? What is she that all our swains commend her? Holy, fair, and wise is she, the heavens such grace did lend her. For admired she might be. Is she kind as she is fair? For beauty lives in kindness. Love doth to her eyes repair, to help him of his blindness. And being loved inhabits there to Sylvia, let us sing the us to her garlands, garlands bring.
Sylvia.
We burn daylight. Here, read, read. Perceive how I may be knighted. Oh, I shall think the worst of fat men, so long as I have an eye to make a difference on men's liking. Although he would not swear, praised women's modesty, and gave such orderly and well-behaved reproof to all uncommonliness, that I would have sworn his disposition would have gone to the truth of his words. But they do no more adhere and keep place together than to the 100th psalm to the tune of Greensleeves. What tempest, I trow, threw this whale with so many tons of oil in his belly ashore at Windsor? How shall I be revenged? I think the best way were to entertain him with hope, till the wicked fire of lust have melted him in his own grease. Did you ever hear such a like?
O you kind gods, cure this great breach in his abused nature. The untuned and jarring senses, O wind up, of this child-changed father. Be governed by your knowledge, and proceed in the sway of your own will. Is he arrayed? O my dear father, restoration, hang thy medicine on my lips, and let this kiss repair those violent harms that my two sisters have in thy reverence made. Had you not been there, father, these white flakes did challenge pity on them. Was this a face to be opposed against the warring winds, to stand against the deep dreadbolt thunder? In the most terrible and nimble stroke of quick-cross lightning, to watch poor Perdue with this thin helm. Mine enemy's dog, though he had bit me, should have stood that night against my fire. And was thou fain, poor father, to hovel thee with rye, woes, and swine forlorn in short and musty straw? Alack, alack, 'tis wonder that thy life and wits had not concluded all. He wakes. Speak to him.
Should we be silent and not speak, our raiment and state of bodies would bewray what life we have led since thy exile. Think with thyself how more unfortunate than all living women are we come hither, since at thy sight, which should make eyes flow with joy, hearts dance with comforts, instead constrains them weep and shake with fear and sorrow, making the mother, wife, and child to see the son, the husband, and the father tearing his country's bowels out. And to ourselves thine enmity's most capital. For thou barstest our prayers to the gods, a pleasure that all but we enjoy. For how can we, alack, how can we for our country pray? Whereto are we bound together with thy victory? Whereto are we bound? For either we lose the country, our dear nurse, or else thy person, our comfort in the country. We must find an evident calamity, though we had our wish which side should win. For either thou must, as a foreign recreant, be led in manacles through the streets, or else triumphantly tread on thy country's ruin, having borne the palm for having shed thy wife and children's blood. For myself, son, I purpose not to wait until fortune these wars determine, if I cannot persuade thee rather to show a nobler grace to both parts than to seek the end of one. Then no sooner shalt thou march to assault thy country's ruin, than thou treads, trust to it, thou shalt not on thy mother's womb that brought thee to this world.
Sayest thou? Dost thou think in time she will not quench, and let instructions enter where folly now possesses? Do thou work. When thou shalt bring me word she loves my son, I'll tell thee on the instant thou art as great as is thy master, greater. For his fortunes all lie speechless, and his name is at last gasp. Return he cannot, nor continue where he is. To shift his being is to exchange one misery for another, and every day that comes to decay a day's work in him. What shalt thou expect? To be depender on a thing that leans, who cannot be new built, nor has no friends, so much as but to prop him? Thou takest up, thou knowest not what. But take it for thy labours. It is a thing I made, which hath the king 5 times redeemed from death. I do not know what is more cordial. Nay, I prithee, take it. It is an earnest of a further good that I mean to thee. Tell thy mistress how the case stands with her. Do it as from thyself. Think what a chance thou changest on, but think thou hast thy mistress still, to boot my son, who shall take notice of thee. I'll move the king to any shape of thy preferment, such as thou'lt desire, and then myself, I chiefly, that set thee on to this desert, am bound to load thy merit richly. Call my women, think on my words. A sly and constant knave, not to be shaked, the agent for his master, and the remembrancer of her to hold the handfast to her lord. I have given him that which, if he take, shall quite unpeople her of lieges for her suite, and which she after, except she bend her humour, shall be assured to taste of too. So, well done. Well done.
How many women would do such a message? Alas, poor Proteus, thou hast entertained a fox to be the shepherd of thy lambs. Alas, poor fool! Why do I pity him that with his very heart despiseth me? Because he loves her, he despiseth me. Because I love him, I must pity him. This ring I gave to him when he parted from me, to bind him to remember my good will. And now am I, unhappy messenger, to plead for that which I would have refused, to carry that which I would not obtain, to praise his faith which I would have dispraised. I am my master's true, confirmed love, but cannot be true servant to my master unless I prove false traitor to myself. Yet I will woo for him, but yet so coldly that, as heaven knows it, I would not have him speed.
No longer mourn for me when I am dead. Then you shall hear the surly, sullen bell give warning to the world that I am fled from this vile world, with vilest worms to dwell. Nay, if you read this line, remember not the hand that writ it, for I love you so, that I in your sweet thoughts would be forgot if thinking on me should make you woe. Or if I say you look upon this verse, when perhaps I am compounded with clay, do not so much as my poor name rehearse, but let your love, even with my life, decay, lest the wise world should look into your moan and mock you with me after I am gone.
What? Was it you that would be England's king? Was it you that revelled in our parliament and made a preachment of your high descent? Where is your mess of sons to back you now? The wanton Edward and the lusty George. And where is that valiant broke-back prodigy? Dicky, your boy, who with his grumbling voice was wont to cheer his dad in mutinies. Or, with the rest, where is your darling Rutland? Look, York, I stain this napkin with the blood from the bosom of the boy. And if thine eyes can water for Rutland's death, I give thee this to dry thy cheeks withal. Alas, poor York. But that I hate thee deadly, I should lament thy miserable state. Prithee, grieve to make me merry, York. What? Hath thine fiery heart so parched thine entrails that not a tear can fall for Rutland's death? Why art thou patient, man? Thou should be mad. And I, to make thee mad, do mock thee thus, stamp, rave, and fret, that I may sing and dance. Thou wouldst be feed, I see, to make me sport. York cannot speak unless he wear a crown, and lords shall bow low to him. Ay, marry, sir, now looks he like a king. Ay, this was he that took King Henry's chair, and this was he was his adopted heir. But how is it that the great Plantagenet was crowned so soon and broke his solemn oath? As I bethink me, thou shouldst not be king until King Henry has shook hands with death. Off with the crown, and with the crown his head. And whiles we breathe, take time to do him dead.
How sweet and lovely dost thou make the shame, which like a canker in the fragrant rose dost spot the beauty of thy budding name. Oh, in what sweets dost thou thy sins enclose, that tongue that tells the story of thy days, making lascivious comments on thy sport, cannot dispraise, but in a kind of praise, naming thy name blesses an ill report. Oh, what a mansion of those vices got, which for their habitation chose out thee, where beauty's veil doth cover every blot, and all things turn to fair the eyes can see. Take heed, dear heart, of this large privilege. The hardest knife ill used doth lose his edge.
Thou art not wholly to belie me so. I am not mad. This hair I tear is mine. My name is Constance. I was Geoffrey's wife. Young Arthur is my son, but he is lost. I am not mad. I wish to heaven I were, for then 'tis like I should forget myself. Oh, if I could, what grief should I forget? Preach me some philosophy to make me mad, and thou shalt be canonized cardinal. For being not mad, but sensible in grief, my reasonable part produces reason how I may be delivered of these woes, and teaches me to kill or hang myself. If I were mad, I should forget my son, or madly think a babe of clouts were he. I am not mad. Too well I feel the plague of each calamity. Grief fills the room with my absent child, lays in his bed, walks up and down with me, puts on his pretty looks, repeats his words, remembers me of all his gracious parts, stuffs out his vacant garments with his form. Then have I reason not to be fond of grief? Very well. For if you had such a loss as I could give better comfort than you do. I will not keep this form upon my head when there is such disorder in my wits. Oh Lord, my Arthur, my fair son, my life, my joy, my food, all the world, my widow's comfort and my sorrow's cure.
These are the forgeries of jealousy, and never, since the middle summer spring, met we on hill, in dale, forest, or mead, by paved fountain or by rushy brook, or in the beached margin of the sea to dance our ringlets to the whistling winds. But with thy brawls thou hast disturbed our sport. Therefore the winds, piping to us in vain, as in revenge, have sucked up from the sea contagious fogs, which falling in the land have every pelting river made so proud they have overborne their continents. The ox therefore hath stretched his yoke in vain, the ploughman lost his sweat, and the green corn hath rotted ere his youth attained a beard. The fold stands empty in the drowned field, and crows are fatted with the murrian flock. The nigh men's morris is filled up with mud, and the quaint mazes in the wanton green for lack of tread are undistinguishable. The human mortals want their winter here. No night is now with him all carol blessed. Therefore the moon, governess of floods, pale in her anger, washes all the air that rheumatic diseases do abound. And through this distemperature we see the seasons alter. Hoary-headed frosts fall in the fresh lap of the crimson rose, and on old Hyam's thin and icy crown, an odorous chaplet of sweet summer buds is as in mockery set. The spring, the summer, childing autumn, angry winter change their wonted liveries, and the mazed world by their increase now knows not which is which. And this same progeny of evils comes from our debate, from our dissension. We are their parents and original.
There is one Mistress Ford, sir. Why, sir, she's a good creature. Lord, your worship's a wanton. Well, heaven forgive you and all of us, I pray. Mary, this is the short and the long of it. You have brought her into such a canaries as 'tis wonderful. Oh, the best courtiers of them all, when the court lay at Windsor, could never have brought her into such a canaries. There has been knights and lords and gentlemen with their coaches, coach after coach, letter after letter, gift after gift, smelling so sweetly, all musk and so rustling. I warrant you, in silks and gold, and in such elegant terms, and in such wine and sugar, of the best and the fairest that would have won any woman's heart. And I warrant you, they could never get a eye wink off of her. I myself had 20 angels given me this very morning, but I defy all angels of any such sort, as they say, but in the way of honesty. And I warrant you, they could never get her so much as sip on a cup with the proudest of them all. Yet there has been earls, nay, which is more, pensioners. I warrant you, all is one with her. Mary, she has received your letter, for which she thanks you 1,000 times. And she gives you to notify that her husband will be absent from the house between 10 and 11. Then you may come over and see the picture she said that you want up. Master Ford, her husband, will be from home. Oh, alas, sweet woman. She leads a ill life with him. He's a very jealousy man. She leads a very frumpled life with him. Good heart.
have power to hurt and will do none, that do not do the thing they most do show, who, moving others, are themselves as stone, unmoved, cold, and to temptation slow. They rightly do inherit heaven's graces, and husband nature's riches from expense. They are the lords and owners of their faces, others but stewards of their excellence. The summer's flower is to the summer sweet, though to itself it only live and die. But if that flower with base infection meet, or the basest weed outbraves his dignity, for sweetest things turn sourest by their deeds. Lilies that fester smell far worse than weeds.
When thou shalt be disposed to set me light, and place my merit in the eye of scorn, upon thy side against myself I'll fight, and prove thee virtuous, though thou art forsworn.
With mine own weakness being best acquainted, upon thy part I can set down a story of faults concealed, wherein I am attainted, that thou in losing me shalt win much glory, and I by this shall be a gainer too, for bending all my loving thoughts on thee, the injuries that to myself I do, doing thee vantage, double vantage me. Such is my love, to thee I so belong, that for thy right myself will bear all wrong. Say that thou didst forsake me for some fault, and I will comment upon that offence. Speak of my lameness, and straight I will halt, against thy reasons making no defence. Thou canst not, love, disgrace me half so ill, to set a form upon desired change, as I'll myself disgrace, knowing thy will. I will acquaintance strangle and look strange, be absent from thy walks, and in my tongue thy sweet beloved name no more shall dwell, lest I, too much profane, shall do it wrong. And haply of our old acquaintance tell.
For thee against myself I'll vow debate, for I must never love they whom thou dost hate.
How should I your true love know from another one? By his cockle hat and staff, and his sandal shoon. Say you, nay, pray you mark. He is dead and gone, lady, he is dead and gone. At his head a grass-green turf, at his heels a stone. Pray you, mark. White his shroud as the mountain snow, larded with sweet flowers, which beswept to the Well, God healed you. They say the owl was a baker's daughter. Lord, we know what we are, but not what we may be. God be at your table. Pray you, let's have no words of this. But when they ask you what it means, say you this. Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, all in the morning betide, and I am made at your window to be your Valentine. Then up he rose and donned his clothes and dropped the chamber door, letting the maid that outer maid never departed more.
Indeed, la, without an oath, I'll make an end on't.
By grace and by St. Charity, alack and fight for shame. Young men will do it if they come to it, by cock they are to blame. Quoth she, before you tumbled me, you promised me to wed, so I had done by yonder sun, and that